Hey guys, what's up? Typically I'm talking about jiu-jitsu moves, mixed martial arts moves, self-defense stuff, stuff for law enforcement. This time I'm going to talk about one of my least favorite subjects, me. I started shooting a few years ago, a little over 3 years ago, I guess now. And I guess over the last year or so, I really tried to pick it up and had it in my mind that I wanted to compete and kind of wanted to start working towards that. And really started dry firing more heavily, which is again, shooting without bullets. I set up this whole thing in my basement where I have a bunch of little targets everywhere. And I'm just trying to be conscious of all the little things that I need to do to be a successful shooter. And I thought it would be nice to kind of, even for me, to go back and look and talk through these things and also see kind of the evolution of how I see shooting over time. This is the first time I'm doing this, with my shooting. It's a lot of mistakes. It's a lot of silly things. There's still so much that I still don't know, but I'm going to do my best to kind of talk through it a little bit. And I think it'll be fun to kind of look back at, the beginning of my shooting career here, and see what kind of things, I needed to improve on and how I kind of worked through it. So, let's take a look. This is my third stage of the day, and I forgot to record the first two stages with my little Insta360, but let's get to it. So this was a stage where I had my pistol holstered, it was unloaded, I had to run to 3 different barrels. Those are 3 different shooting positions, and basically had to reload at each shooting position. So 1, 2, and 3. So that takes time, under pressure, trying to beat everybody's time. I was in the limited optics division, and here it is. Here's my third stage. So I sprint to the first barrel, get my gun out of the holster, load my mag in the gun, and immediately I have 3 targets to engage. Now, there's no shoots involved. So there's those white targets, as you can see right there. If I hit that, I get penalized. So there's not a whole lot there as far as targets for me to shoot. Here, again, I have 4 targets to engage, 2 shots in each target. And here I noticed that I missed that alpha on the last target, decided to re-engage it, and I believe I got it, that alpha on the 3rd try. And one thing I noticed is a couple things. I was kind of grunting my way into position, and a few things, my knee was bothering me. I was coming back from a back injury. That was a part of it. It was a little bit uncomfortable for me, but a lot of it is kind of I'm adding in this unnecessary stress to, the equation. As opposed to kind of just breathing. I was grunting, and in my notes I wrote down, breathe instead of grunt. Why does it have to be a grunt? And I think part of it is I tend to be very critical of what I'm doing, and also stress myself out with things that I don't necessarily need to be stressed with. Of course, this is still very new to me, that's going to happen, but how I handle that is super important. And the way that I do things, I want to make sure that I don't repeat those things. So just a little mind switch for me. Breathe, don't grunt. And the other thing is, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, just the efficiency of how I'm loading my magazines, making sure those are clean reloads, and then getting right back on target and making sure my grip after those reloads are solid. So this was a great stage to work on those things. That's something I've been working on a lot, because I was typically very slow with that. I felt my speed was okay, but re-engaging with my grip was a little inconsistent here. So something to learn from. Let's go on to the next stage. This was a really fun stage. Maybe I'm saying it's a fun stage because this is the one I did best on.